Hey class, this is Mr. Wekesser. We're doing 1-5, part 2 of the notes. I cut it off early yesterday because I had a meeting. But today we're going to start with problem 2. There's problem 2 right here. We're on number 15 under problem 2. So underline the correct word or number to complete each sentence. The graph includes all numbers less or greater than 8, -2, 3, 5, 9, or 10. So this is this graph right here it's talking about. So we have x is less than -8. So x, if you graph it, right? Let's graph that solution first. Here is 0. Here is -8. X is everything less than or equal to -8. So it's going to be a filled-in circle and going down. So everything less, underline that, and -8 is also the answer. I'm going to circle it so you can see it a little better actually. And then let's go over it real quick. Review when you graph the difference between an open and a closed circle. And so if it is less than or greater than, it is an open circle. Put that right there. If it is equal to, it is a closed circle. I kind of messed that up. I put it down below where I should not have. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it is also a closed circle like that. Hope that makes sense. A little review from the last couple years. And then the next question has to do with what we just learned and we just talked about. The graph will include a closed circle at, and it's -8 again. So now it says down here, graph the solution. And this is a really big number line. You don't have to make a number line this big, just like I did. 2 numbers. So you could, there's 2 ways to do this. You can do it on the number line and go this direction. Or you can do it above the number line, which I like to do, and go that direction. Just so you can see it better. And especially if you do more than one graph on a number line, it's kind of nice. So number 3, problem 3, using an inequality. Got it. A digital music service offers 2 subscription plans. The first has $9 membership fee and charges $1 per download. The second has a $25 membership fee and charges 50 cents per download. How many songs must you download for the second plan to cost less than the first plan? And so, right now we're just going to worry about trying to figure out how to set this up. We're not going to solve it. So let's let R equal the number of songs downloaded. And let C1 equal the cost of the first plan. And C2 cost of the second plan. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys right there. And then this is a continuation on the next page. So it's kind of confusing because it goes all the way to the next page. It goes to page 20. And I got to find page 20 first. Here it is. So page 20, number 18, directions say write an algebraic expression to best describe the cost of the first plan and the cost of the second plan. So the word and is here. And first and second. So the word and means addition. And so number 18 is going to say C1 is 9, right, plus 1R. And why do we use the letter, the number 9? And it's because of $9, right, and it's $1 per download. The second one is, what do you think? What's $25 per month plus 50 cents per download? Now we're supposed to write an inequality to represent the situation, then solve it. And this is where it's going to get a little difficult for you guys. We have 2 things here, right? And so let's write down what we know first. So let's write down the first plan. 9 plus 1R, or just R, right? And that's going to be greater than 25 plus 0.5 r. And so why is it greater than? Well, we're going to figure that out in a second, why we wrote greater than. And so let's solve this now. How do we solve it? First thing we do, subtract 9 from each side. Now we have r is greater than, now r is by himself, 16 plus 0.5 r. But we still need to get this 5, or 0.5 out of there. So we need to divide, right? Or what do we need to do to get rid of this r? Think about that for a second. How do we get rid of this r? Well, the easiest thing to do, the first thing to do here is to get rid of the r by, let's subtract 0.5 r from each side. And this is where it gets a little confusing, I know. So now we have 0.5 r on this side, because 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5, is greater than 16. Now we need to get rid of this 0.5. So we divide by 0.5 on each side. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And so now we take your calculators. Let's back up a second here. I made one mistake here. Subtracted 0.5 from here. And we have 0.5. Oh, that sounds good. So I want to make sure I did that correctly. So we have 16 divided by 0.5. You get 32. So r is greater than 32. And you can rewrite it any way you want to, but I like having the r on the left side. So these are crossed off. And so you must download at least 32 songs for the second plan to cost less than the first plan. Because second plan we know is more expensive, right? And this is only $9 a month. This is $25 a month. So that's why we put this greater than this one. Okay, no solution or all real numbers is a solution. And this is a little confusing again, but we're going to go through this. Number 4, complete the solution. So we're going to distribute. 4 times 2 is 8x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Is less than, let's distribute again. 8 times x is 8x. And 8 times 1 is 8. That's the distributive property. Next, we're going to subtract 8 from each side. Right? Here's minus 8. Here's minus 8. So you get 8x minus 20 is less than 8x. And right away, you know you have two 8x's, which is, you know it's going to be always true. And so now we need to subtract 8x from each side, it says. So you can do it either side, doesn't matter, because it's going to equal negative 20 is less than 0. And so this is always true, because it has a 0 there. Describe the solution of the set of the inequalities. It's going to be all numbers or all real numbers. Number 5, solving an and inequality. This is kind of a weird sentence to say, but when the word is and there is when we're solving this. So what is the solution of 8 is less than or equal to 3x minus 1 and is the key word there. That's kind of inequality we're solving. 2x is less than 12. Graph the solution. Let's first try to solve it. So let's get each of them by themselves. 8 is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Add 1 to each side. 9 is less than or equal to 3x. Solve for x by dividing by 3. So now we have 3 is less than or equal to x. On this side, you have 2x is less than 12. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X is less than 6. So let's graph each one. First one is 3, or x is greater than or equal to 3, right? Let's reverse this one so you can see it better. We reverse the sign and reverse the numbers. So x is greater than or equal to 3. So let's put 3 here. Solid dot. It's all numbers that way. This one is x is less than 6. So let's put 6 here. It's going to be an open dot. I messed up there. Open dot going that way. And now when it says the word and, you need to combine both those graphs. So we're going to combine them both. So 3 is here and 6 is here. We're going to connect them. Now we're going to combine these two now to make it look like this. I'm going to put x in the middle both times, so x is going to be in the middle, no matter what, is less than 6, but at the same time, greater than or equal to 3. What questions do we have? This is difficult. We got to ask Mr. Weckers for some questions. All right, last problem, number 21. Solving an OR inequality, and this is when they use the word OR. Okay. The word OR is a little more difficult, but not so much actually. So let's look at this. 7w plus 3 is greater than 11, or 4w minus 1 is less than negative 13. So cross off the inequality that's not a solution of this. We're going to cross off this one, and we're going to graph the solution. Before we graph it, we need to solve it though. So let's solve this. 7w plus 3 is greater than 11. Minus 3, 7w is greater than 11 minus 3 is 8. Divided by 7, divided by 7. W is greater than 8 over 7. We can keep it that way. You don't need to make it a decimal. The other one is 4w minus 1 is less than 13. Add 1 to each side. 4w is less than 14. Divide by 4, divide by 4. You get w is less than 14 over 4. So I hope that made sense to you. Now we're going to graph the solution. And the word OR is when they're not going to connect. So let's look at this real quick. So 8/7 is a little bit bigger than 1. It's 1 1/7. So w is greater than 1 1/7. So we're going to put it right here and put a line that way. This one is w is less than 14 over 4. Oh, I messed up this one right here. Let's go back to this. It says negative 13. So plus 1 would be negative 12. Divide by 4. 12 divided by 4 is, it's a negative 12. So it's w is less than negative 3. So I made a little error there. I knew it right away when I was trying to graph it. W is less than negative 3. So here's negative 3. And w is less than that. So now we know that w can be anything this way, but nothing in between. So it's less than negative 3, or greater than 1 1/7, or we can keep it the same as we had before, 8/7. That is this lesson today. The homework's going to be difficult, so you got to take your time. Here's the lesson check. You got to write true or false. You got to explain what to do to multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number. And that's what we talked about before. When you have a negative number, you switch it. So talk about how you switch the signs. The inequality sign, greater than to less than, and less than to greater than. All right, have a good day.